Dr. Archana Bajaj. She is a gynecologist in particular. Ma'am, thank you for joining us on NewsX this afternoon. I've just interacted with Dr. Antaryami Das. She stated that this period of October and November, we've seen the fact that children specifically are suffering, infants are suffering even more, but we also know that this impacts pregnant women too. So have you seen a spike in health hazards being faced by pregnant women and children over the course of the last few years? Have you witnessed it during your practice?
Absolutely. I think over the last probably 7 to 8 years, there's been an ascent in pregnancy-related issues during this period. We've mostly seen women coming with physical discomfort, with asthma-like symptoms, with bronchitis-like symptoms around this period. And also over the last few years, I've noticed there's a gradual increase in placental accidents around this time. And there's a slightly higher increase in the number of people having preterm births around this time. Now, it would be very difficult to specify, pinpoint that this is particularly because of the pollution, because this is also the time of the year when Diwali is around the corner. There's a lot of physical activity. Women who are used to a certain day pattern have excessive activity around this time. So whether it is an activity induced increase or purely a pollution induced increase, that will be, of course, difficult to pinpoint. We probably need more controlled studies, more randomization into this to come to a single conclusion. But definitely women coming in with discomfort, cough, पानी अंदर नहीं सटका जा रहा, गले में बड़ी discomfort है. This is like a common complaint over the last 12 days. The OPD complaint, as much as you see the obstetrical complaints, you see about the same incidence of this kind of complaint. And it becomes extremely distressful for people like me because we're dealing with women who are close to term around this time, and if they're not able to breathe, obviously their delivery process becomes a difficult delivery. It's uncomfortable for them, the abdomen is distended, वैसे ही उनको सांस लेने में मुश्किल है, ऊपर से with this pollution around them, they're unable to breathe well. So all over, there's a clear tilt towards an uncomfortable pregnancy. And of course, children is another matter. Probably, since I'm not a pediatrician, may not be the right person to comment. But as a grandmother to a 2-year-old, the child is ground indoors. There is hardly any activity they can go to outdoors. One day you send the child outdoors, the next day he comes back with a cough. So overall, there is a complete, so to say, a decline in the quality of life, both of pregnant women and infants around this period of time.
Indeed, and you've spoken about your grandchild. Do you think Delhi has become rather unlivable in the best 2 months of the year? October and November are traditionally the tourist season. It's the time when the weather is the best. People come in from abroad to visit India, see India. But now Indians itself, residents of the national capital itself, are not able to go out and carry out their day-to-day activities properly without, exposing themselves to health hazards and aggravating already existing health conditions. So do you think this has definitely made Delhi rather unlivable over the past 5 to 6 years?
Absolutely. When we were little, the happiest time of the year used to be time around Diwali and Puja, when you went out shopping, you went out as a family, you hopped from pandal to pandal to go in for the Dashera celebrations. But I mean, as a educated grandparent, I don't think I would ever allow my grandchild to do that. Forget about my child, my grandchild, I wouldn't allow patients who have children of that age to go around doing that. The joy of Diwali is gone. The pleasure of going out and shopping has gone. The pleasure of going out and seeing people as a community life has ceased completely. This doesn't really seem to be the life that we were used to as children. So as Delhi grows in size and in structure, it's actually declining terribly as in quality of life. What used to at one point be the happiest time of the year has actually become a time we've all started dreading. One starts thinking, अक्टूबर आ रहा है, नवंबर आ रहा है, you can't, when you travel out of the house early morning, the day before yesterday 6 o'clock I was out in the morning for a delivery, and I realized we could barely see beyond nearly 30 feet, and that's not the kind of Delhi we were used to living in.
Indeed, and I'd like to come back to Dr. Antaryami Das. On the same lines, do you think Delhi's pollution problem will impact the capital in the future, and how do you think it will impact the health of people in the next generation if this problem is not addressed?
Yeah, so in fact, I would like to quote a very interesting study. So this is a global burden of disease study in 2019. So this study was conducted by Lancet, one of the best, authority in public health. So they said that in India, 1.67 million deaths happen, and this death is attributable to air pollution. And the majority of this death, 59% of death, all these deaths were due to ambient air pollution, like the air pollution we're talking about, and only 41% was because of the household air pollution. But if you look at the economic burden, to this country, if you calculate the premature death or the morbidity that they are experiencing, if you put that into an econometric analysis, there would be a $36.8 billion of economic loss to India in 2019. So that was equivalent to 1.36% of the GDP. But coming back to Delhi, if you account all other states and the capital, Delhi had the highest per capita economic loss due to pollution, and Haryana was the second highest after Delhi. And you can correlate that with the kind of AQI level. Delhi, yesterday Anand Vihar was around 1,000, and now it is around 700. So Delhi and NCR, including Haryana, Gurgaon, Noida, they are going to pay the highest amount of economic losses and the Delhi or the morbidity because of this issue, going forward. And if we don't check it now, then our ambition of having a net zero carbon by 2070, that is possibly not going to happen.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.